afternoon. My name is Mary Gunner, and I am Cree. I'm originally from a moose factory island. It's a small island at the mouth of the James Bay. So now I have another story to tell you, and this one is about my aunt. In the summertime, I had an auntie that would come and visit us. So one hot summer day, we heard a knock at our door, and it was my auntie. She said, "Would you guys like to come and spend the weekend with me?" And we were like, "Sure." And she was with one of my cousins as well. So off we went into our rooms and packed some clothes to spend the weekend with my auntie. We walked down the road, and we went down to the river, and we jumped in a boat because that's the only way to get off the island to the mainland, to where my aunt lived. So she drove the boat all the way to the mainland. It takes about 20 minutes. And my auntie's a real, what you call a bush woman, because she can drive boats, and she hunts, and she knows how to fish. She does all this stuff. And we liked going to see my aunt because she always took us on cool adventures. And today, she said, "We are going berry picking." So when we got back to her house, we went and got some margarine containers and packed a lunch, and we jumped in her truck, and we were driving down a couple of dirt roads. We couldn't find any berry bushes, so she decided to go on the railroad tracks. So she was driving slowly down the railroad tracks, and then we were like sitting in the back of the truck, and we banged on the truck and said, Auntie, there's some berry bushes." So we all jumped out, and my cousin Hazel was in front, and she was running ahead of us. And then all of a sudden she stopped, and she turned around, and she screamed, "Bees!" And we all turned around and started running back up the trail and jumped back in my auntie's truck because there was a whole bunch of bees. Well, when she had gone down the hill, she had stepped in a hornet's nest, and she ended up getting stung right on the eye, and she had a big swollen eye. But we jumped back in the truck, and my aunt checked out my cousin, and she was okay. So we just drove further up the road, and then we finally got to another berry bush. We picked a whole bunch of berries, like about 6 margarine containers of berries. And then my auntie drove us home, and we washed them, and then we put them in little Ziploc bags, because the next day we took them to, she drove us down to the river, and we sold the berries to tourists, because a lot of tourists would come to Moosonee and Moose Factory because it was the end of the railroad tracks. That was the last stop on the railroad tracks, the furthest north you can get. And that's my story about berry picking. Thank you.